Hey guys, Coach Kev Deneen from Structured Personal Fitness here to talk about pull-ups. And before we get into pull-ups and how to get your pull-ups and chin-ups better, a couple topics that we need to address right off the bat. Number one, this is probably one of the more important exercises from an upper body standpoint that we're going to look to try to have everyone do. It works the abs, shoulders, biceps, a little bit of chest, and most importantly, the back. Back muscles including everything from the little guys like the serratus, teres major, all the way up to the big guys, the rhomboids, the lats, and the traps. So really recruiting a lot of muscles. Sometimes we refer to this as the upper body squat because of how essential it is. The wide grip pull down, seated lat pull down is another exercise that's used often to substitute. Here at Structure, we like to make sure that we get people in the process of learning how to do a chin-up and or a pull-up in order to help them achieve their goals on the road to fat loss or increased strength. But this is a huge part of our programming. So that's why the pull-up and the chin-up is such a huge part. Sometimes we have it twice a week in programs. Sometimes we have assisted versions with bands. Sometimes we're doing ring versions. But the chin-up and pull-up, one of the more important exercises that we do here at the gym, and really shows a demonstration of bodily control, right? So you're making sure that you're not swaying back and forth. Really shows a demonstration of muscle synchronization. You're able to use your biceps, like I said, your shoulders, your lats, all together. Not necessarily separate, but all together. In addition, you're able to use your upper body while using your core so that you're not swaying and so that you're maintaining that vertical alignment, not leaning back. I'm not really going to go into the CrossFit debate in terms of the kipping. We don't teach it here, and we're really in more on the injury prevention side in terms of making sure that people are doing things safe. While kipping isn't always unsafe, it's just not the way that we teach it here. I believe in working on control rather than a lack of. And a lot of our clients have a lack of stability, so we want to introduce stability, not necessarily more mobility, especially through that thoracic spine and shoulder joint. That's it as far as why pull-up. Now we're going to go into some of the best ways, in my opinion, to strengthen the pull-up. So one of the things that happens with women especially is they struggle on that bottom half of the range of motion. So what I mean is from here to here, this isn't so bad. This is why they stop when they're doing, and then they go basically all the way up. Okay, so basically what we're going to see is from here to here, women usually struggle. Okay, so that's just the topic. Is in one of the things I think about is that they're not used to using that lat in coordination with their biceps and shoulders. So what we're going to do is a simple drill. Actually, we're going to do two simple drills. The first one is basically more of a serratus anterior activator. We're going to keep the arms straight and learn how to depress that scapula without moving those arms. So what you're going to do in a pull-up position, okay, is you're going to start here, legs straight, and you're going to bring your ears closer to away from your shoulders, and then closer, okay, almost like a shrug. Up and back down, up and back down, up and back down. Going for 10 reps. And there you have it. 10 reps of that before you get into your pull-up and or chin-up routine on any day that you're doing those. And that'll help recruit that serratus, in addition getting you used to that posture while you're doing it. In addition, I think lastly and most importantly, teaching you that relationship between your shoulder and your ear. I see a lot of people trying to do chin-ups from this position, and it's I can tell you from experience, both from watching other people and from trying it myself, it's quite difficult to do a chin-up from that position. Okay, the next exercise in this progression, I really love this, really targets the lat hard. A couple ways you can do it, but my favorite way is to go into this wide grip situation. Okay, we don't always go wide grip here at Structure. We get some males that can do it, but with females, what we're going to find is that the lat really needs to be strengthened through that wide grip, but only in this bottom range of motion. Okay? So here's what you're going to do. With a wide grip, you're going to come up to 90 degrees, keeping what I would call a frontal plane of motion. Okay? So from here, pulling down, or up, down, up. And 10 good reps just like that. Now, a couple key concepts. Number one, really working that frontal plane, as I was saying, okay? Think about doing your pull-ups in a toaster, okay? In addition, you're gonna think about that elbow angle, okay? Making sure that as you come down, this shoulder is not doing this thing again, okay? So we're really strengthening this range of motion where some people would have a little bit less stability, okay? They're gonna try to do this, nope. Shoulder pads down, okay? So really love that though. Anywhere between 10 and 15. Also, if you have trouble with it, what you can do, grab a bar, fix it up, and do an assisted. So right here, okay? Pull yourself to 90 and back down. 90 and back down. So same concept. Now, you're going to learn that motion, that range of motion. You're also going to learn how to use your legs a little bit to assist you, okay? Speaking of assist you, okay, one of the better ways to learn this movement, we do it a couple ways here at Structure, but it's this little leg assist. Now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to have me demonstrate on the bar, and then we're going to do it on the rings, and then I'll show you another version of the rings, okay? So what we're going to do, I'm going to basically get in the pull-up position. When we do pull-ups, we're going to do it a little different than we would with the rings, which is going to be a more neutral grip position. Okay? So we're going to be here. I'm going to go all the way up, doing that pull-up. Okay? Using my legs to assist. Okay? And that's with that bar. Now, so that's one of the progressions that we do, is to have that bar as a way to introduce it. And by the way, it's about, I would say, shoulder height, just in case you're looking for that height. What you're looking for, though, is that vertical position, and to maintain that vertical position the entire time. Next progression, let's get into the rings. Key concept of the rings, similar to the bar. You want them roughly shoulder height. And hopefully these are even. So what you're going to do, okay, we're going to actually start with the palms facing away, and then we're going to finish with the elbows tucked. Okay? So here, sitting down, hips underneath the hands, shoulders away from the ears, pulling up, and back down. Pulling up, and back down. Up, and back down. Only as much assistance as you need. Okay? And I'm only doing 5 for the sake of brevity. Okay, so that's with the legs in front of you. One of the things we find is that folks struggle with getting, when they transition to the chin-up situation, not necessarily from the rings, but hanging from the bar, okay, with their legs hanging free, is they struggle with the placement of their core. What I mean by that is it's very easy to try to turn this exercise into a row. Okay, that's where you'll hear some people say that they're doing a chin-up and they feel it kind of in that middle back / lower back, and they're arching hard. Okay, so in order to teach that, what we're going to do is a cool variation. I'll bring the camera over, okay? Sorry for the slant there. But we're going to do a cool variation with the knees down. Okay? So from here, just a little higher. I'm going to keep my knees down. I'll actually face out. Okay? So from this position, I'm going to squeeze my butt, use my legs just a little, and work that range of motion. And back down. So once again, I'm assisting myself, but this time I'm learning that vertical spine and where to keep myself in relative to my pelvis underneath that rib cage. Speaking of pelvis and rib cage, that's a huge concept. If you're familiar with Postural Restoration Institute at all, we're only scratching the surface here at Structure, and I think we're only starting to scratch the surface overall as far as how much we know about breathing and how it impacts performance. And I think it's really starting to be more and more well known. That's a whole nother topic. But I did want to go into that. The last thing I wanted to go to was a couple different things regarding the types of pull-ups. Once again, from the wide grip pull-up, we don't do too many of those, okay? As far as the actual fixed bar position, okay? In terms of a chin-up, we don't do this version, okay? Just a simple test, and I believe I first heard this from Jason Ferrugia. I think I have that right, or maybe Joe DeFranco. I saw it on one of his videos. Sorry, my amazing camera skills are coming in handy. So with the reason that we don't do this grip here at Structure is because most people can keep their arms straight, right, while doing this chin-up. So if you don't have that passive range of motion, okay, you can't actually get into this position. There's no reason, right? I'm going to force you into that range of motion with both hands facing you. So what do we do instead here at Structure? We go with our favorite, which is a neutral grip. Now there's a couple different ways. We're lucky we have an awesome bar behind us, Perform Better bar. And what it does allows for multiple widths. So you can go pretty wide, or you can go kind of medium, or for most people we like about shoulder width. So that's just like we would do on, let's say, a neutral grip pull down or on the rings, okay? So what you're gonna do with this chin up is just like we were talking about, is we're gonna get a neutral position, okay? I'll do a couple facing you. Starting with the ears away from those shoulders, thinking of pulling your elbows down to your rib cage, keeping that pelvis underneath your rib cage, pulling all the way up and back down. All the way up and back down. Facing away, and you'll see my hand position with my thumbs outside. Now, a couple things about that thumb position. I know some people say to keep the hands on the bar. What I've been noticing is that it's a little bit easier for people to demonstrate strength with that thumb. If they're going thumbless, even if they're on that neutral grip, that internally rotates them a little bit more, so that shoulder is a little bit more susceptible to feeling it and finishing like this. So we don't want that. So we encourage people to get your thumbs outside of the bar like this, not necessarily inside the bar like this, okay? That helps us to get that nice erect posture as you're doing this chin-up, okay? A couple other things that you can do to strengthen your chin-up and pull-up. Number one, you can do what's called a flexed hang. So just hold from that bottom position, okay? Literally just hold, okay? Working on grip strength, alignment, not swaying back and forth. Brace from your butt, brace from your core, making sure that your ears are between your elbows. The reason the ears between your elbows is important, okay? If you're doing it from here, you're definitely not learning that bottom range of motion, okay? When we're doing chin-ups, we want to get that full range of motion, keeping those ears between the elbows or the shoulders, okay? And we want to practice that in that flex hang. Anywhere north of 30 seconds is a good time. If you can get to 60 seconds, you probably don't need to work on that flex hang, okay? Last thing that you could do with the various methods, and by the way, not the last thing, but another variation that I like a lot that really tests your grip strength is a towel pull-up. So what you're going to do, grab 2 towels, okay? Make sure they're sturdy enough. Little hand towels will do just fine. Okay? Find them in the grip that suits you, okay? And make sure you're not too far away on one and too close on the other. So from here, you're going to start